the Lone Ranger. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
One Silver. Let's go, big fella. Hail Silver! Hoy!
Ray Alton was seemingly a good-natured, easygoing Kentuckian. Those who might meet him casually were impressed by a tall, smiling fellow with a slow drawl. But those who came to know him well knew him for what he really was, a killer and outlaw leader. The reputation of the easygoing outlaw spread throughout the Southwest as Ray and his gang ravaged the territory. One day at their ranch house near Eagle Pass, Hank Allen, a prosperous rancher, was having noonday dinner with his wife Ada and their foreman, Sam.
Hank, you and Sam must be tired from that long trip back after driving that herd to Austin. Did you ride all night?
Yep, not so hot at night, Ada. We left the rest of the cowpokes and moved on so as to get the cash to the bank today.
The others will most likely be along about sundown.
I'm glad you got a good price for the cattle, dear.
Yeah, we sure did. Nigh on to $15,000 in cash. You got to get it to the bank. I'll ride to town right after dinner. Now, who in tarnation can that be?
I'll go see, dear.
Howdy, ma'am. I've come a long way. Would you mind if I fill my canteen from your well?
Why, of course not. But you must be hungry, Mr.
Ray Alton, ma'am, from Kentucky.
Do come in, Mr. Alton. We're just having noonday dinner.
Mighty nice of you, ma'am.
And Mr. Alton, meet my husband, Hank, and our foreman, Sam.
Howdy, gents.
Well, howdy, stranger. Pull up a chair and help yourself.
Thank you.
Reckon I didn't quite catch the name, mister.
The name is Alton, Sam. Ray Alton.
That's right, ma'am. I'm new to these parts.
Something about that name,
Now, Sam, let Mr. Alton start eating. The chicken will be cold if you start asking questions and all.
No, wait a minute.
What's the matter, Sam?
Remember what we heard when we was in Austin? You know, about a slow-talking hombre, tall and passable-looking? It seems to me his name. Ray Alton, that's it. He's an outlaw.
Don't draw, mister.
Oh, Hank, he's our guest.
Quiet, Edith.
Sorry, ma'am, but your foreman's right. You see, I heard about some cash your husband brought back from Austin, and I got a hankering to take care of it for him.
Hank, he must be joking. Surely he can't mean that.
I usually mean what I say, ma'am.
What?
Lots of folks find that out too late.
He's loco. We're both holding guns on you, Alton. Get up. We're going to town and taking you with us. Sheriff will be mighty glad to get his hands on you.
No use rushing me, mister. I just can't drag myself away without trying some of that fried chicken. Can't insult the lady by not partaking of her good cooking. Oh, this is sure mighty tasty, man. Just like I used to get in Kentucky.
Get up before I plug you.
Oh, take it easy, mister. And meanwhile, turn your attention to the windows and the door. I figure you'll see a few of my friends watching us.
Hank, he's right. Look.
Men with drawn guns.
Holy...
Drop those guns, both of you, and reach.
By thunder up!
Oh, no.
Well, you won't get that cash by Jiminy.
Now, that's being downright unfriendly, mister.
Oh, Hank. Oh, Hank.
Get the cash and let's get out of here, Ray.
All right, Dave. When I looked through the window a while ago, I saw the rancher put the cash in his desk drawer.
We better tie and gag that woman or she'll give an alarm to the ranch hand.
No, let her alone. She cooks wonderful fried chicken. Anyway, the few hands that didn't go on the cattle drive on the range. Yeah. I got the cash. It's all here.
You'll be sorry for doing this.
I'm only sorry, ma'am, that you had to be here and see all this. Let's go, ma'am. So long, ma'am.
Hank. Oh, Hank.
Hey, Dad. I'm all right.
Oh, thank heaven.
Let's get to town. Get a doctor for Sam and tell the sheriff. Hurry.
All right.
Mrs. Allen left the ranch driving a buckboard and raced along the trail toward town.
Get up there.
As she rounded a bend in the trail, she came face to face with a tall masked man on a white stallion and an Indian on a paint horse. She stopped the team as she stared fearfully at the Lone Ranger and Tonto.
Oh, whoa there. Oh, you must be part of his gang. He sent you to stop me from going to town.
Don't be frightened, ma'am. We're not outlaws, believe me.
That's right.
We'll not delay you if you want to go on.
But the man...
I can explain that if necessary. But you spoke of someone who might have sent us to stop you.
Yes, Ray Alton.
Ray Alton? Are you sure that's the name of the man?
Yes. He came to our ranch house. That's the name he gave.
He's a dangerous outlaw. Well, what happened, ma'am?
I'm Mrs. Allen of the Bardee Ranch. I'll tell you just what happened.
Quickly, the woman told the Lone Ranger and Tonto the details of the outlaw's visit to the ranch. Then the masked man spoke.
We've been searching for Alton for some
He
time.
must be caught. He must.
I suggest you go on to town, get the doctor, and report to the sheriff. We'll ride to your ranch and see what we can do to help. Then we'll try to find Ray Alton's trail.
My husband and the foreman do need attention. If you can help them until the doctor gets
We'll
there.
do everything possible.
Thank you. I'll go on to town now. Get up! Get up!
Come on, there.
Get him up to town.
At the ranch, Hank Allen had managed to get to a couch. The blow on the back of his head had been severe, and he felt weak and dizzy. Finally, he heard horses stopping outside.
Who's that? Hey, Dad. Did you bring the doctor?
Your wife will be here soon with the doctor, Mr. Allen. We came to help you.
Mask hombre. Ray Alton sent you back to finish us, eh?
Please don't worry. Alton didn't send us. We came to help you, as I told you. Bring water, Tonto. You attend to Mr. Allen. I'll look at the foreman there on the floor. Nothing we can do for this man.
You mean Sam is done for?
Yes, sir. This is another killing Ray Alton has against him. Now, we'll bandage your wound, and Tonto and I'll follow Alton's trail.
But I don't savvy why a masked hombre like you...
Please don't talk. Just take it easy. You'll understand later. The main thing right now is to stop Ray Alton before he and his gang kill someone else.
After giving first aid to Hank Allen and making him comfortable, the Lone Ranger and Tonto left the ranch house and soon found the tracks left by the Alton gang. The outlaws had followed a back trail that ran alongside the Bardee Ranch. Later, in a shack located in a secluded hollow in the hills, Ray Alton looked up as one of his men, a spy he had planted in town, entered.
What's the news in town, Lenny?
A woman came to town to get the doctor. Then she talked to the sheriff about what happened at the Bardee spread.
Must have been Mrs. Allen.
It's risky just sitting here when a posse of boiling mad hombres are out hunting for us.
They won't find this place, so take it easy. We covered our tracks by riding in a shallow stream for a few miles. We're safe enough.
But there's something else I haven't told you.
Well, I'm listening.
The woman told about meeting a masked man and Injun on the way to town.
What?
She thought they were members of our gang, but finally decided she could trust them because they said they were trailing the Alton gang.
Hold on, Lenny. You're sure she spoke of a masked man in Indian?
Yeah, I'm plenty sure.
Did she say what they looked like?
Uh-huh. I talked to one of the sheriff's deputies. He told me the woman said the masked hombre rode a big white stallion called Silver. She said he was tall and well-built and had mighty fancy guns and riding gear. The Injun was dressed in fancy buckskin.
Yeah. There's only one hombre who fits the description of the one on the white horse. You ever heard tell of an hombre called the Lone Ranger?
Sure, but what does he have to... Jumping catfish? You mean that's who he is?
Yeah, that's him, all right.
What are you going to do then?
Only thing we can do, Lenny. Get them before they get us.
How?
Ambush.
Where?
Remember the 2 large boulders on each side of the trail leading into this hollow?
Yeah?
We'll split up, 4 on each side behind those boulders. If that masked man and his Indian friend come down that trail, we'll fill them both with lead before they even know what hit it.
After being delayed for some time along the shallow stream, the Lone Ranger and Tonto finally found the outlaws' trail again and rode along the roadway leading to the hideout.
We lost considerable time at that creek, Tonto.
That's right. They're bending trail. You see top of the big boulders.
We'll be cautious.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto approached the bend cautiously. They still couldn't be seen from the boulders when the great horse Silver's keen sense of smell brought him the scent of strange men and horses nearby. He suddenly stopped and whinnied a warning.
Easy, big fella, easy. Tonto, he's warning us of something.
Maybe we can find out. Men wait behind boulders.
Yeah, it's a perfect place for an ambush. If the outlaws are waiting there, Tonto, we may be able to take them by surprise. We're right in among the trees, and I'll tell you my plan. Come on, Silver.
Meanwhile, Ray Alton and his men waited behind the massive boulders. Ray, with 3 of the men, hid on one side of the trail. Dave, with the other 3, were across from them. One of the men became restless, then spoke to Ray.
Listen, Ray, maybe that masked hombre isn't as smart as people say he is. If he and that redskin did try to trail us, I figured they'd lost us at the creek.
Hear that?
Yeah, the horse whinny. It must have been one of our Mustangs back there.
No, that whinny came from up the trail. Get ready to use your guns.
Hey, somebody's coming all right. Sounds like 2 riders.
As soon as they show around the bend, we'll let them have it. Here they come. Now we'll... Hey, those are their horses, but the saddles are empty.
I don't get it. How come they... Hey, look, back of us, on the slope behind that cottonwood.
They sent the horses to trick us. Then they moved to get the drop on us.
I said drop your guns and reach.
Hey, look, the Indian. He's got the drop on us over here.
Fight him! Don't give up!
Ow, I'm hit. My leg.
Ray Alton dropped with the others among some low-lying rocks behind the big boulders. And at the same time, the Lone Ranger quickly moved behind the cottonwood tree. He could see Tonto across on the other slope, also protected by a tree.
He can't leave that tree. But we're trapped too. Keep firing.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto exchanged shots with the outlaws and kept them from leaving their positions. Meantime, the sheriff and the posse were searching the banks of the stream not far away, trying to find the trail they had been following from the Bar D ranch.
By thunder, they covered their tracks well. We've been up and down this doggone stream on both sides. We can't seem to find a trace of them.
Sheriff, I wonder what happened to that masked hombre and Indian Mrs. Allen spoke about.
Well, darned if I know. She said they were going to trail the gang. Hey,
Listen, I hear shooting. Yeah. Maybe that masked man, the Indian, found the gang's hideout. The shots are coming from down yonder.
well, let's go. If that's what's happened, those 2 hombres will need help. Get up there.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto were still battling the outlaws. Though they had avoided an ambush, the masked man realized the situation was a stalemate. The outlaws couldn't leave the protection of the boulders and rocks, nor could the Lone Ranger or Tonto leave the safety of the trees which shielded them. 4 of the outlaws had been wounded, but the other 4 were still using their guns. The Lone Ranger feared that either he or Tonto might run out of bullets. They both carried extra supplies of bullets in their saddlebags, but Silver and Scout had gone to the safety of a grove a short distance away. The Lone Ranger emptied his guns, then reached for more bullets in his belt.
Only 3 bullets left, and they're gone.
I notice the masked hombre isn't firing as much as he did. Maybe he's running out of ammunition. If he does, we'll get him.
Fulton's wise to what's happening. I'll keep these 3 bullets just in case they try to move in on me.
Hey, mister. You might as well give up. I'm coming after you now.
Come on!
Hey!
Clip his hat. He's trying to force me to use the rest of my bullets.
Come on, shoot, mister. We know you're running low. When you run out, that's the end for you.
The Lone Ranger waited tensely for a moment. Then, as one of the other outlaws showed his shoulder, he fired another shot.
Only 1 bullet left.
The moment was a tense one. A single silver bullet remained, and the Lone Ranger realized that when that was fired, Ray and his remaining men would force him into the open, where he'd be a ready target for their bullets. As Ray Alton fired again and again, the Lone Ranger waited. Suddenly, the masked man saw something that chilled his spine. One of the men across the trail with the outlaw Dave had managed to crawl down along the trail, keeping under cover of the low rocks and brush. He saw the man rise up and aim his gun at his friend Tonto, who could be seen from that angle. Without hesitation, the Lone Ranger, using his last bullet, fired quickly. The single shot saved the life of his friend Tonto, but it put the masked man at the mercy of Ray Alton, who had already guessed the situation. Ray fired several shots, then cautiously emerged from behind the rocks and called out,
I know you're out of bullets, mister. Now I'm coming to get you.
The Lone Ranger could hear the approaching steps of the outlaw chief, who held 2 loaded guns ready to kill the masked man.
Notice your Indian friend is still at it. But you're through. He soon will be.
The Lone Ranger knew Ray Alton was a killer and realized he was likely to be one of his victims without any chance to defend himself. He waited tensely as the outlaw's footsteps indicated he was about to reach the cottonwood tree. At that moment, unexpected help arrived.
Watch it, men. Here comes the posse.
Ray leaped to cover as the sheriff and his men moved in with blazing guns. The Lone Ranger, seeing his chance, moved hurriedly from tree to tree until he finally reached Silver. After getting more bullets, the masked man went back, gradually moving closer to Ray Alton, who was occupied with the posse. Before Ray realized it, the Lone Ranger was beside him with drawn guns.
Reach, Alton, and drop your gun.
You. I know you haven't any bullets.
Confident that the masked man had no bullets, Ray Alton suddenly sprang forward.
I'll finish you.
The Lone Ranger quickly sidestepped and, holstering his gun, met the attack on equal terms.
You're through, Alton.
No.
The suddenness of Ray's attack caused both men to fall to the ground where they rolled in combat. The masked man and Ray battled furiously, while the sheriff and the posse closed in on the other outlaws to finish the job the Lone Ranger and Tonto had started. Since neither of the men held guns, the struggle between the Lone Ranger and Ray Alton became a test of strength. Neither of them noticed that the sheriff and the men had approached to watch the fight.
I'll kill you, Mr. Here and now.
I try it.
The 2 men struggled to their feet. Then the Lone Ranger landed a terrific right to Ray's jaw.
Take this.
You knocked him out. Great day, what a fight. Never saw anything like it. That masked man knows fighting. Yeah. Just look at that other fellow.
Sheriff, that's Ray Alton, the gang leader and killer.
I guessed as much, mister. And Mrs. Allen told me about you and the Indian. Both of you sure put up a good fight against this gang.
Oh, thanks. I ran out of bullets. You arrived just in time.
Well, you seem to have plenty now.
Yes, I got more from my saddlebags after you got here.
Yeah. And you should have plugged Ray Alton as soon as you got the chance.
I received more pleasure using my fist, Sheriff. I'll let the law take his life with a rope.
You all right, Kimasabi?
Yes, Tonto. I'm glad to see you're not hurt.
By the way, we'll get back Hank Allen's cash from these crooks. Must be in their saddlebags.
Me stop. Look in saddlebag. Me see cash there.
Fine. We'll give it back to Hank.
Good. We'll see you in town before we head for Pecos, Sheriff. Adios.
Goodbye.
Come on, Tonto.
Man alive, I'd sure hate to get him riled at me. Uh-huh. And I reckon Ray Alton wishes he felt the same way about it. Any hombre who wants to look healthy and stay that way better not take a chance of tackling the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger comes to you through the facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.